I'm 75 now, and I can't remember anybody except the Queen being there.
My life will, of course, change as I take up my new responsibilities.
For years, she stayed silent. But now, Queen Camilla's sister has allegedly spoken out. And what she revealed is sending shockwaves through royal circles. Was it jealousy, guilt, or something deeper? You won't believe what insiders claim she said. Stick around for the full story, and don't forget to subscribe. Annabelle Elliott. The name might not ring a bell for most people. She's always been a quiet figure, comfortably distant from flashing cameras and royal press conferences. But today, she's the name making headlines. Why? Because after decades of silence, Queen Camilla's sister may have finally broken her silence, and what she reportedly said has sent shockwaves through royal circles. Annabelle isn't just a distant cousin or some forgotten relative. She's Camilla's younger sister, the one who's been there through every high and low. For years, she stayed away from interviews, avoided the press, and kept her opinions private. But now, insiders are saying she's finally spoken up. And not everyone in the palace is happy about it.
I can't mimic voices for love or money. I'm completely hopeless at it.
We're not talking about wild accusations or a dramatic tell-all. No, what's so stunning about her words is that they sound calm, even tired, and that makes them feel real. According to sources, what Annabelle said wasn't meant to hurt, but it may have revealed more than she realized. And now, everyone's asking, why now? Why her? And what does this mean for Camilla? And just wait until you hear what she reportedly said about the most sensitive chapter in royal history. That part will stay with you. To understand why Annabelle's words matter so much, you have to understand who she is, and who Camilla was before the crown. They were born into privilege, daughters of the wealthy Shand family. Childhood was one of countryside estates, elegant dinners, and high society norms. But even in those early days, people noticed a difference between the two sisters.
Rather than just the debate concentrating on what we need to give up, what we can't do, which is very negative. And
Camilla was lively, confident, and always seemed to be the center of attention. She had a way of charming people, bending social rules without ever seeming to break them. Annabelle, on the other hand, was more reserved, thoughtful. She preferred sketchbooks to spotlight and often stayed in the background at big events. Despite their differences, they were close. Through Camilla's most difficult years, when she faced criticism, public backlash, and intense media pressure, Annabelle remained a steady presence. Not once did she comment publicly. Not once did she betray her sister's confidence. In fact, she was so trusted that she was brought into Camilla's inner circle, even becoming a trustee of the prince's foundation. Their bond seemed unbreakable. But behind that loyalty, some say there was always something unspoken.
Yes, everything about her, without suffering the consequences.
Something waiting quietly in the background. Now it may finally be coming to light. It wasn't supposed to be a big deal, just a quiet dinner with old friends at a countryside manor. The kind of evening where people feel safe enough to speak freely. No press, no cameras, just familiar faces and good wine. That's when it happened. Sources say Annabelle began to open up. Slowly, carefully, but with striking honesty. She wasn't giving a speech. She wasn't trying to make headlines. The room went still as she spoke. "She's not who the world thinks she is," Annabelle reportedly said. "She's changed." It wasn't said with anger. According to people there, Annabelle sounded reflective, worn down, like someone who had held back for too long. She talked about control, image, power. She allegedly described her sister as someone who never truly lets anything go, that even the nice gestures were calculated. "Nothing's random with her," she's said to have murmured.
Not just interest, but of service, of understanding, the way that people...
The dinner ended, the guests left, but the words didn't stay in the room. Within 48 hours, they had reached the ears of royal insiders. And within days, Buckingham Palace knew. Camilla, according to those close to her, was blindsided and deeply hurt. But the story didn't stop there. One part of the conversation reportedly left guests especially stunned. It wasn't about Camilla's power or influence. It was about the past. A past still heavy with emotion. Annabelle spoke of someone who isn't here to respond. Someone whose story still echoes across the monarchy. Princess Diana. We all saw it, Annabelle is said to have admitted, how isolated she was, how much she struggled, and we said nothing. It wasn't a dramatic confession, but it was one that carried weight. It felt personal, honest, maybe even remorseful.
Made lurid and false claims about the royal family, which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
Annabelle, by all accounts, was there through it all. The whispered affairs, the public breakdowns, the tension within the family. And yet, she stayed silent. Now people are wondering, was that silence loyalty or guilt? Some believe that watching Diana's pain and never speaking up left a mark on Annabelle that never truly healed. And as Camilla's star continued to rise, maybe that mark deepened. One guest said her tone changed when she spoke about that time. Not bitter, just haunted. Because behind every royal role, every polished smile, there are moments no cameras ever captured. And Annabelle? She was there for all of them. As Camilla's public image softened over the years, from controversial figure to queen consort, something else may have been happening behind the scenes. According to those close to the situation, Camilla wasn't just surviving public judgment, she was quietly building her future. Carefully, intentionally. Sources claim that during the aftermath of past scandals, Camilla used patience as her secret weapon. She stayed calm while others reacted. She let the noise fade, and then made her moves. Behind palace walls, she reportedly formed powerful relationships, influenced key decisions, and gained trust where it mattered most.
We generally mean it when it's a short family, because over 10 years we're going to have a big family. And it's really...
Some even believe she was the driving force behind efforts to promote her own family within the royal structure. She never forgot who helped her, one insider said. But she also didn't hesitate to move people aside when they no longer fit the plan. It's this version of Camilla, quietly strategic, deeply determined, that Annabelle may have been hinting at. Not out of spite, but possibly out of realization. The kind that only comes after years of watching someone rise, step by step, knowing what was left behind along the way. And for some in the palace, that's the part that feels the most uncomfortable. While tension may be building behind palace doors, two members of the royal family appear more steady than ever: Prince William and Princess Kate. As Camilla's image is reportedly shaken by her sister's words, William and Kate continue to move with calm purpose. No public outbursts, no scandals, just a quiet presence that's earning the public's respect all over again.
But I know that in the position I'm in, that's what's required of me to do. And
insiders say Kate has been especially reflective. Her connection to Diana's memory is well known. But now, with Annabelle's alleged comments surfacing, the emotional weight feels heavier. Some close to her believe she sees this moment as a kind of unspoken validation. That the values Diana once stood for, openness, care, sincerity, are finally being recognized. And Kate? She doesn't have to say a word. As one palace source put it, she leads by example. The difference speaks for itself. Their growing popularity, especially among younger generations, is shifting the spotlight. It's not about ceremonies or titles, it's about trust. And while Camilla's circle works to hold the narrative together, William and Kate seem to be building something stronger, something future-focused.
And William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this crisis.
But not everyone in the palace is ready for that shift. For so long, silence has been the rule in royal life. No interviews, no slip-ups, no personal opinions, just smiles, waves, and carefully crafted appearances. But Annabelle's alleged remarks may have changed that, because they didn't come from an outsider or a journalist. They came from inside, from someone who knew the people, the stories, and the consequences better than anyone. And what makes it all hit even harder? It's not a press campaign. It's not revenge. It sounds like reflection, like someone who's carried years of quiet and finally couldn't carry it anymore. I loved her, she reportedly said, but I didn't protect her. Neither of us did. That sentence has stayed with many who've heard it. It doesn't just challenge Camilla's public image, it opens the door to a conversation the monarchy has worked hard to avoid.
I would definitely give it a go, even if it's something I haven't tried before, because it's really fun.
What happens when silence finally ends? Now here's where we turn it over to you. What do you think? Was Annabelle Elliott's alleged confession just a moment of vulnerability? A quiet truth finally rising to the surface after years of restraint? Or was it something deeper? A subtle warning, perhaps, that the image the world has of Camilla isn't quite complete. For decades, Camilla has been painted as the woman who endured, the one who weathered the criticism, rebuilt her reputation, and finally became queen. That image was powerful. It represented survival, loyalty, and resilience. But now, we're being shown another angle. A version of Camilla shaped not by public relations or palace press teams, but by someone who lived through it with her. Someone who saw every private moment, every carefully planned move, and every difficult choice up close. And that version is more complicated. Maybe it's not about villains or heroes. Maybe it's about what happens when ambition, silence, and family loyalty collide.
Rather than just the debate concentrating on what we need to give up, what we can't do, which is very...
What happens when someone who stood by for years finally says, enough? That's what makes this story so powerful. It's not about scandal. It's about humanity, about conscience, about the quiet moments that never make headlines but shape the course of history. And we're not done asking questions yet. Could Annabelle's words influence how the public sees the monarchy? Could they lead to real change inside the palace? Or will everything be swept under the rug once again, filed away as just rumors? Also, what do you think about the future of the monarchy? With William and Kate earning more public trust and the next generation stepping into the spotlight, is it possible that we're witnessing the beginning of a new royal era? One led not by strategy or survival, but by service and sincerity. And where does that leave Camilla? So drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Annabelle Elliott's rumored words were real? Do you think they matter? Or is this simply the kind of drama that always follows power?